I'm going to take her through a values alignment, okay? And you're going to watch how it goes. So let's just, for you, write out your 5 values. Okay, here you go. You're going to write.
Oh.
I got terrible handwriting.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Number 1, what is it?
spiritual.
Spiritual. Can you hear her on the... You guys hear okay? Spiritual. By the way, just go ahead and write them and call it out.
Okay. Health.
Health.
Wait for the mic.
Okay.
Steve, what would you like to say?
Health.
Bring the mic up.
Family.
Nice. Yep.
Business. And becoming.
Like it. Okay, Brooke, hold that, please. Okay, so on any of, I'm going to have you stand on this side over here.
Okay.
Just watch your step there. So this is how we start. We put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to show you how to test your values. I'm going to make a prediction. At least half the room is going to change their values after we go through this. At least half. Okay? The other half are going to be pissed off that I'm asking them to make decisions and they're going to fight with me or they're going to tell me I'm crazy. It just happens. I don't want to move that. You don't have to. By the way, a couple disclaimers. I don't care what your values are. I have no personal attachment what's on that sheet or your sheet. I do have a personal attachment to reflect a mirror to you, to be the best version of you, and that you're aligned with what you say you want. Okay? Because we're going to do something a little later that what you put down on this piece of paper, you're going to get to fully own or change in any way you want. Okay? Got it?
Got it.
Awesome. Okay. So what's just kind of generally, what's spiritually mean for you? What's that?
Being in tune with, you know, if I'm not spiritual, I won't have integrity.
Okay.
I won't be able to be in tune or present with the other people around me.
Great.
I'm really just trying to be in tune with myself so I can have energy for other people.
Awesome. Now, when we're going through this, let's hold the space for her breakthrough. Because, and by the way, your values may just stay the same. First question we're going to ask: if you have the spiritual life that you have, but you are not physically healthy, is that okay?
I don't think it's possible for me. I mean, I don't think that it would be possible for me not to have health as a value if I didn't have my spiritual mindset.
Okay, so you're already going to see what's going to start to happen. If I don't have this, I don't have this. That's not what I asked her. But you're doing great. You're doing great. You guys are going to come up with, well, yeah, 1 + 2 = 3, and that allows me to go over here, and that's not what we're doing. In life, you're not walking around with the car. I did this training, okay, spiritual, I can't see my kids. It's not like that, but we got to mentally have it. Okay, if you have the spiritual life that you want, let's just get, and you're not healthy, is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. See, I'm making her really think about it. How I know she's in this process, she went and go, okay, this is tough. By the way, you might do your values today and go home and change them. I'm not here to fix your values in one day and go, that's it. Once you get them going, though, you should look every 3 to 6 months. Is this how I'm running my life? Is this how am I running life? Awesome. So that's number 1. Okay, you've got your health, but you don't have the relationship with your family.
That's not okay.
Whoa, we got the first conflict. Now, by the way, when I do this, doesn't mean you're living your life that way. I'm just telling you where the conflicts are. Some people write their values up what they want them to be, but that's not how they're living them. It's okay. So, we've got to switch these. Okay? So let's switch them. Just put an arrow. That's great. Okay. So now this is, just put, okay, we got it. So this is health. So if you had health, but you didn't have business production and you weren't doing business, would that be okay?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So you had business.
Although I feel a little uncomfortable.
Hold on.
My heart just skipped a beat when I said that. If I came down to it, yes.
Okay, but what was going on for you when you said that? Because this is what should be going. If you wrote your values down, this is just my opinion, not the truth. If you just wrote them down and you're going through that, it's like no issue, you're not really going deep. Because unless you really dug into this process at a previous time, there are going to be conflicts. There's conflicts every time I go through them. Okay, so what's the conflict when I said that?
Well, I've been programmed.
She's been programmed. You are going to hear things about what you should. Remember Mark? My wife should be one. That was, he's on stage and he's filmed this a bunch of times. He tells the story all the time, probably tells it better than I do. But that changed his life because it allowed him the freedom to be who he was meant to be, and he got to be a better husband. Because together as a team they were working for something. Now he's got so much freedom where he's developed a business where he doesn't even have to go to an office. See, I'm going to teach you something that's called top-down thinking. You decide what you want, and then you figure out how you get it. Most people do this. What do you think they do? They try to figure out how to do it to get it. And that will be in a direct conflict with another one of our friends, Einstein's quotes, is you can't solve a problem at the same level it got created on. It doesn't happen. I got people all the time, when this and this and this happens, then I'm going to. That is called someday, and it's not on a calendar. Not on a calendar. So just know that. Becoming is a great value. So we just want to be clear. See, each time we write a value down, it has our own internal meaning. Not my meaning, yours. So what's becoming mean?
Well, what just came to mind was the whole aha that I've been getting about knowing what I should be doing, thinking and thinking it, and just ponder and ponder and ponder, and then internally say, oh, I'll do it. I think that might be why I put it last, because that's what I've been doing.
But what is becoming mean to you, though?
Well, when I originally was doing this, becoming was, I can't become successful spiritually and health and family and business if I don't have all of these things. And by having all of these things, I become a better person. Okay,
so that's a great example. So we want to take becoming off of here or change it. We don't want to do values that goes 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 10. We want to what's important. And the magic question is, this is what you want to write down, is if I have this top value, but I don't have the next one, is that okay? That's your test question. So let's rewrite the way you want them. So you got spiritual, just rewrite them out here. So you want to be thinking as she's writing, that's the test question. If I have health, but I don't have the relationship I want with my family, is that okay? And you may flip them 3 or 4 times. You got to come to some internal decision. Once again, it can change.
So you can't say, well, if I don't have my health, then I'm not going to be around for my family anyway. You don't get to say that when you're...
You get to say whatever you want. But you want to be able to say in that test question, what's the most important? In life, you're not walking around with a scorecard. It's giving you a guide, but you got to decide ultimately, if I'm sacrificing time at work, for example, and my kids are number 1 and business and second, then we got to switch the value. So you either switch your values or you switch your goals. That's a writer-downer. Switch your values or switch your goals.
So becoming, I guess...
You can put something else here now, because you told me that's an additive. What would be down here?
I would have to think about it.
Okay, we're thinking about it right now.
Okay.
See, here's the thing, subconscious mind. She's already trying to get out. It's totally normal. You're being honest. Your brain's doing that right now. If you're not looking at your values or in a conversation or you're checking out, your brain, your blind spot is already operating. If you're thinking about what's at lunch, totally normal, it's okay. I'm just telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
also,
what?
yeah, being in front of all these...
They're not even paying attention.
Okay.
So, what's your last one? What's important? Is fun, recreation? What's important?
Fun.
Okay, just put fun down. See what happens. Okay. So let's just check it out. We're going to test it again. If you have your spiritual life, but you don't have the relationship with your family, would that be okay?
No.
Okay, great. So if we have your family here and you don't have your spiritual life, would that be okay?
No.
Got to pick one.
Well, I guess...
You see, this is why we're just going through it, and it's totally normal. This is what happens, okay? Because I asked you that before, and you switched it. So What's the,
Well, we switched it, so health.
but now we're up here, right?
Now we're up here.
Okay, so what's the most important thing in your life?
Family.
Okay, switch it. Switch it.
Had to give her another 20.
Okay? So just put 1 next to this,
Okay.
2 next to that. Okay? So if you have your spiritual life, but you don't have health, is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. You got health, but you're not creating a business or have a business, is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Give her a hand. Awesome job. Awesome job. Awesome job. Thank you. You can give that to her.
All right, give it.
So what I want you to do for the next 5 minutes is look at your values and ask the question, if I have this, but I don't have this, is that okay? And for 5 minutes, let's see what needs to be rearranged. Some music, Chris?
Please change one or sheet.
Is this about what you want it to become or about the reality of what you're living right?
What you want. What you want. Because the question is, what you want, what it is or what you want. There's a couple ways to do this. I'm having you do it the way you want it to be. Then you're going to make decisions if you're going to change it. Okay? That's what I want for you. You don't have to change it. There's no obligation. There's no judgment on what your values are. I had a guy about a year ago come work with me on a 1 day. I do 1 days with people, and then he became a client after that for the year. And the first day we did his values, number 5 was integrity. Now, I got no issue with that. But I said, I want to reflect something back as you decide. See, all my job is to ask you questions. Ask you questions. I say, if you do this and this happens, how is that going to work in your life? So he was talking about how his business was. It was successful, but he wanted to get to the next level. Because integrity was so low, he was doing things in his life that were in that gray area. And it was coming back on him. 6 months later, unbeknownst to me, we're working. He'd had sessions, 2 sessions a month. He goes, I got the values thing. My integrity thing is completely off. He said, I keep getting into legal issues, conversations that are a problem. I mean, he wasn't going to jail, but it's like, he goes, I get it. I'm like cutting corners all the time, and he went back to his values, and it was like, I'm not really honoring who I need to be. So he changed his values. I never had another conversation about integrity with him. But it's that sets the compass that gets you awake to start doing things. Do we have another question? Mark?
I was just going to argue that, without integrity being number 1, how can you have the others?
But that's, Mark, so here's the thing. That's a great opinion, and for you, that's great, but other people may, for you, we're all human beings here. How integrity sets up for different people, that's different. It's like God or religion, it's all different. But for you, that's what's important for you.
Well, no, it just seems more than just me. And the practical thing is, how do you have family if you have no integrity?
But that's you.
That relationship isn't real,
But that's you.
no matter what you think it is.
But what some people,
Hold on. This is a good point. But here's the thing. Mark, I totally honor your experience, but I'm just telling you, everyone on this planet has a different life than you. And I actually may agree with what you're saying. I'm not going to tell you if I am or not, but just because I want to keep it neutral. The point is, we all operate, and we have consequences to our value systems. And we got benefits. Okay, so let's do this exercise for 5 minutes and we'll take questions. Go. Ask the question, if I have this but I don't have this, is that okay? See, we want to get really clear as we go through this. What's important? What's important? Because that's where you're going to put your time. So as you went through the questions, do we have the mic, the portable mic? As we went through the questions, I'm going to open it up for questions for you. Did you change any of your values? Who went through the questions and changed your values? Or changed something in the values? Raise your hand. Let's give you the mic right here.
Which one?
Right here, this gentleman here. What did you change?
I changed them about 6 times.
Awesome. What did you flip?
Huh?
What are the final values?
Final values: integrity, life, health, business, recreation.
Right. And what was the biggest thing that you saw understanding your new values?
Well, the toughest one was not having a wife first.
Yeah.
But then it said, if I took away integrity, would that be okay? And if I took away integrity, I wouldn't have my life.
It's great. It's interesting. There's When people show up in a room, first of all, the right people are here. Some people didn't show up. But Mark McDonald, the guy I told you about, when he tells a story, he tells the story a little differently. He says this: when I had my wife, number one, I asked myself one question. If she asked me to murder somebody, would I? And he goes, no. My integrity's above that. That's when he really got it. There's some way where you're taking time, not completely, and you got it in the wrong space. It's happening. Remember I told you Olympic athletes know how to use time? Remember I said that? They know how to use time? You're Olympic athletes. You know how to use time. So it's deliberate practice and attention, plus skill. But most of the people that I've worked with in my career now, thousands, when there's a performance challenge, there's a part of their values that are off. That's why we align them. And so much now, especially when I'm dealing with working mothers, that they want to perform at work, but taking care of children is a struggle. And as long as that struggle there, they're not going to be a great mom and they're not going to be a great businesswoman. Once it gets aligned, they'll be great at both. Because you're picking your time. You can't be over here doing deals going, what about Johnny? And you can't be over here with Johnny or Susie and go, what about my deals? Single focused mind, just like I said, without witting the devil. Definiteness of purpose, on track. When you're present, you're present. When you're doing business, you're doing business. A lot of the executives complain about time. I go, what are you doing at home? On my BlackBerry. The older guys and women. On my iPhone. BlackBerry, what's that? Is it food?
Did you say pager?
Did you say food? But they're not present when they're present. So wife's complaining about time, they're home for 4 hours, but when I teach them how to be mindful, they're home for 30 minutes and it seems like 4 hours.
Yes.
Altering time. One other person on values that had a change in their values or came up. Who else? I saw another hand. In the back, Pat?
Yeah, I put health, actually I had business and then health first, but based on my personal health, I had to reevaluate because nothing else happens if I don't have my health.
So I'm gonna, that's great. I'm a language police officer. He said, I had to. Why did you have to?
Because of my health,
Great.
because of my past history and the things that have gone through.
Yeah. See, when we get to the have to, we start moving our ass. When we get to, I kind of don't have to, we're sitting on our ass. It's true. It's absolutely, you look at anything in your life, pain and pleasure. A lot of today's coaching and tomorrow you're going to get connected to like the pain that's going on. Okay, what we want to move you into, that's the away from. I don't want that. I want to move towards what I want to get. Away from motivation, towards motivation. Away from, I'm going to do something so I avoid pain, towards motivation, I'm getting it so I receive pleasure. But a lot of you are programmed on pain. And here's the thing about pain. I'm going to do a quick little off script, but I want to give this to you. So if pain is the motivator, okay, and it's here, okay, this is pain. The more money you make,
More pain.
no, less pain.
Really?
The further you, now the pain is the motivator. Oh God, I got to make money. So as you drift down, you start getting more motivated. It's like looking at your sales report and going, oh man, I got to get going. If I don't get X, this is going to happen. You're getting motivated by pain. And this is why people perform like this. Anyone ever happened that way for you, besides myself, in the past?
That makes perfect sense.
So part of today is getting you what we call towards motivated. You're motivated to receive pleasure, a gain, rather than I'm motivated to get away from something negative happening. Does that make sense? Got it?
Got it.
So this is a big concept here when we look at values about this. And so have to, that's why I picked up on his language, is a pain motivator. And by the way, that's great. You should. You should have a pain motivator. But you don't want to run your business in your life on the pain, or what we call away from motivation. Because the more, if pain is the motivator, the more money you make, it's less motivation. There's no pain. So you'll inherently, because of your blind spot, start sabotaging yourself to start dropping your sales. When the sales stop, now you got more motivation. Make sense? We're going to start shifting some of those beliefs. Okay, let's move on. So the values, what I want you to do, I want you to take your GPS, and I want you to write your 5 values. If it's not in there, I want you to write them in on the bottom. Put your 5 values. Write them in there. And then I also want you to turn to the next page. And on number 4, question number 4, okay, I want you to put your big 1-year goal. That's your ending GPS location. So this is the GPS guide. Question number 4, it says success destination, ending point, where you want to be. That's your big goal. You want to put it in line 4.
So Stephen?
Yes.
When you mentioned...
Mike, let's get a mic over here. Just one second. I just want to...
Yep. Back, can you mic me up? You, and all people, you. Thank you, sir. So when you're mentioning the pain, you keep coming closer to pain, it motivates you to go up. Can you replace that? I think we said goals or money. Can you replace that with anything? Because a lot of people are motivated by different things.
Oh yeah, I was using money as the example, but it's fitness. Wow, so I gained 10 pounds. Holy cow. Now I'm like, so it's getting painful. Let's actually do three top goals. 3 top goals in these areas of your life. So we've got your career, business, finance, health and fitness, relationships, and becoming. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of stupid. Can you kind of go over what becoming actually?
Mark, you're not only stupid, you're intuitive. And I'm saying that jokingly. It's a great question because people in the room are still asking that question. Becoming means, who are you now? See, there's something in this GPS that I haven't rolled out for you, and I haven't decided if I'm going to yet. It's called a legacy statement. See, if you really want to go deep, and I haven't decided if we're going to go that deep here, haven't decided, you'll write out a legacy statement. And the legacy statement is this: how do I want to be remembered? By God, my family, my colleagues, the planet. Because that'll get you sober. What are you doing now? So what was your question, Mark?
You answered it right there. Is what you meant by becoming, because that can be interpreted a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and I want you to interpret that. But becoming is, am I being relevant? You're going to keep me here using the word relevant. That's my word. Relevant is you're making a difference. You're connected to your purpose and self. And that relevancy is then what we bring into the world. See, there's a big difference today in our society, a huge difference on being seen and being relevant. You guys follow me on this one? Seen is, turn on reality TV. You want to be seen? We're in Orange County. Real Housewives of Orange County. Top rated show. There's more vileness and pain and suffering in that show by the words they use and the things they demonstrate. It's sad. That's being seen. In my opinion, the Real Housewives of Orange County aren't very relevant. That's my opinion. You may have a different opinion. That's okay. I'm not interested what you think about my opinion, and I'm not interested in the content as long as it's for you. So everyone's being seen. We got mass shooters that are being seen. They're not being relevant. So being relevant is having a divine purpose, your divine purpose of making a difference for yourself and the planet and connecting. Whatever that is. I'm going to be more kind. I'm going to be more generous. I'm going to be more positive. That's the being coming. Make sense, Mark? Good question. So, we have it up here. Making a difference, contributing yourself and others, being of service, connecting to your self and purpose. I want you all to make money. I want you all to have great lives, all the great things that come with it. But what I really mostly want is relevancy. Because if you have real relevancy, all those things are going to come if you put your time in the right direction. But if you're here just to be seen and to take, you're going to end up, in my opinion, with a lot of stuff and unfulfilled. Have stuff and be fulfilled. Okay, talking about goals. So that sheet I want you to fill out. But the SMART goals, many of you may have already gone over this, know what SMART goals. I'm going to go through it really quickly because it is important when you write goals down, okay? Number 1, Details for the S. Who, what, where, when, and how. When we get into filling out the GPS system, I'm going to have you talk about action items. You got a goal, you got to have action items. And then I'm going to show you how to put those action items on a calendar. A simple one, not some complex binder with 90 sheets, A list, B list, C list. Those are great. But time management systems without your own understanding how to use time don't work. Anyone have a time management system that doesn't work that's in a shelf besides me? I mean, you can try them and you can use them and you want to manage time, but you actually can't manage time. You can only manage your priorities and what you do. So, M. All right, criteria. How do you measure that goal? How do you know you got it? Okay? If your goal is, I want to feel better, it's kind of hard to, you can have that, but I always say, can you put it in a wheelbarrow? Can you put a feeling in a wheelbarrow? So, if feel better means I can hike 10 miles, I can, run, I can play with my kid, whatever it is, measurable. Got it? Got it. 3 people got it? Got it? All right. Attainable. Appropriate aspired actions. A lot of times I'll do events and someone says, I work with a lot of coaches and other people, and they go, I want to be on Oprah, I want to write a book and be on Oprah. I love that. Let's first start with, you have ideas and put it on a piece of paper. And then let's get goals that are attainable. Have big goals and make them attainable. Relevant. How is this relevant? I'm going to read this to you. Goals that you are both willing and able to put the appropriate effort into that represent substantial progress towards stretching just enough. And so it's 2 things here. It's relevant that it's going to make a difference. It's relevant in a little different way. It's going to make a difference in your life. It's a stretch. Trackable. Time-based. This is really important. Goals without time are very different than goals with time. Because when you put a time frame on something, what I call, and we're going to talk about this, something that's non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. That means I never negotiate with myself. Because I know once I set a goal, my blind spot is going to try to get me out of it. You're tired today. You didn't sleep enough. You know what? You've done enough this week. If you want the secret to getting to the next level, you want a secret to the next level?
Yes.
It's all right, your blind spot's working. Get uncomfortable. If you guys and gals are waking up every day and you're comfortable, man, you're in trouble. Not saying it's a bad thing, not judging you, but if you're waking up just feeling, God, I'm comfortable, I'm not stretching anything, there is somebody outworking you, and things are going past you. Now, you got to manage that. I'm not talking about, white knuckling your whole life, but the clearest indication of you being uncomfortable is change. If you're in this room and you're feeling a little uncomfortable a lot, awesome. I don't want you to feel that way the whole time, but you should. Because if I don't get you a little uncomfortable, you're in your own routines. You're going to keep doing the same thing you're doing. You're going to get the same results you got.